Hello, everyone. We're going to get a nutritional analysis of salt going today. Does it cause high blood pressure? Important information that we're going to be sharing with you. Stick around. My name is Jason Steves. I am a nutrition professional at the Nutrition and Health Center, and I'm joined by my co-host Steve Steves, who is a certified clinical nutritionist and naturopath. And as I mentioned, today we're going to be diving into salt and what it is. We'll kind of break that down simply and why we need it and how we can know that it can affect our health and heart disease issues, blood pressure issues. This is an important topic, Steve, and something we talk about with clients regularly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I love salt.
Yeah.
So can something that my physical body desires be bad for me?
Mm.
Well, and I looked at what Jesus said in Mark 9, verse 50. Salt is good. Well, what's it good for? Well, we're just catching up to really understanding how that works in the body. Well, they've known for years. You've got
Yeah.
different elements in salt. So there's salt, and then there's elements within salt: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, zinc.
Mm-hmm.
How do these elements work together?
Mm-hmm.
And how are we supposed to consume them? So if they used them in biblical times and before,
Yeah.
what was the use of it? It
Yeah.
was used for preservative. Of course,
Yeah.
they season their foods. I can sit down, and do you do this too? I know you salt your salads because when we have lunch together, you
Right.
come in, we're
Yeah.
doing our team meeting. You're like, "Where's the salt? You
Yeah.
got some salt?" So, salt enhances the flavor of food,
Mm.
and you enjoy it more. So, salt has amazing benefits. I want to show you this curve up front.
Okay.
It shows blood sodium levels. So here you have a picture of sodium in the bloodstream, which you can see at the bottom of the curve represents the highest level of longevity or the lowest level of death, right? As the curve goes up, that means a higher incidence of death. And you can see that low salt causes more deaths than high salt does. And we see this most of the time, right?
I
How
see.
many looks at blood chemistry that you have? I know you're doing a lot of for
Right.
clients now as well. How many of them would you say are low, below the ideal 140? You start to see that low sodium indication.
Yeah, sodium comes up a lot, I
Yeah,
think, with
probably.
out of balance issues for sure.
So your body tightly regulates this
Yeah.
because it influences how your heart beats and functions.
Hmm.
And why did the farmers give their mammals big salt licks for out in the field? Because these animals they sweat out a lot of salt, they use it
Hmm.
up. So the elements that are within salt are used up in the day, and we need more the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
So the sodium, the potassium, lack of potassium can cause heart attack, as well. Same thing with the sodium. It's if the
Hmm.
salt gets too low, and they do link this to young kids that are, especially this time of year, going back to school and playing football and sweating a lot. And you see these young boys that drop over on a football field dead. It has to do with this very thing, the imbalance of electrolyte availability for the heart.
Yeah.
Of course, we can't leave out magnesium and calcium, and they do as well play a role, but there's a unique system in the body and within the muscle called the sodium potassium pump, of which the heart muscle utilizes that. And the
Hmm.
body's constantly pumping in potassium and moving sodium and potassium around to create an equilibrium within the cell for ideal function, for uptake of
Right.
nutrients and so forth. So
Right.
the bottom line is we need salt, we need lots of it, and you can check your sodium levels, but I take a salt shaker when I'm making a smoothie and just
Mm.
pour it in there when I make my smoothie in the morning, and salt on my lunch. I put salt on my dinner. I am salting food all day long. and my sodium just barely stays there at 140,
Mm,
139, 140.
yeah.
But I know it's a big indication too with people that have low sodium that they may have low adrenal hormone production, aldosterone for the
Mm,
regulation of that. So we really encourage adrenal support. The adrenal glands do so much for the body. And it is this fight or flight adrenal indication that is linked to heart disease as well. When people can get high blood pressure when they go to the doctor, but they go, but doc, I'm fine when I'm at home, when I check my blood pressure,
mm,
when I'm not in front of you with that white coat.
mm,
And so the excitation created by emotions that trigger those adrenal hormones are powerful fight or flight hormones, and they will disrupt your sodium, they'll disrupt your magnesium, and they'll disrupt body systems. So we have to learn how to keep a calm head. That's one of the phrases Jesus used a lot. He said, "Don't be anxious, don't be afraid. Be of good cheer. I've overcome the world." You know, we're going to have trouble and tribulation here, but he's overcome. We lean on his truth. And he said salt was good. And I
yeah.
use a lot of it. And it really went out yesterday, get this, with my friend that came in from out of town.
Mm,
Played golf starting at 11:40. And that's when the temperature's getting up to its peak in Houston. It was right at 90 degrees. And I think by the time we left, it was 93. So
wow.
4 hours in the hot sun, just hydrating well, taking electrolytes. What we did was I didn't have my salt with me at the time. So I had swung into Whole Foods and bought some seaweed.
Mm,
Of course, sea salt is derived from the ocean. Well,
mm,
seaweed is rich in all the elements that are in sea salt.
mm.
So we were putting down all those
Seaweed.
seaweed, thank you, and great benefits. We shot, and so the second half, we both played better than the first half
Wow.
by a number of strokes. Wally took 9 strokes off of his, and I took 6 strokes.
Wow.
We played better, more heat, but the only thing that we can correlate to that would be we pumped ourselves up at lunchtime
Mm.
and gave us a nice sodium salt hit with that seaweed. So,
Yeah.
and seaweed's remarkable, folks. Using seaweed as a natural electrolyte replenisher. I remember summer when I was eating seaweed snacks because I enjoyed them so much. And at the end of the summer, I had lost like 6 pounds. And I was as lean as I'd ever been. And I was like, how did I lose all this weight? I was trying to figure it out. And what made sense was the constant intake of salt and the iodine that's there that nourishes the thyroid, because your thyroid T3 is 3 iodine molecules and T4 is 4 iodine molecules, and they read those in your bloodstream. So you make hormones for your thyroid that controls metabolism. It's like the thermostat in the room, and you need iodine for that. Well,
Mm.
what better place to get it than seaweed?
Yeah.
And I've seen our little granddaughter Hayden. I know Jude likes it too, right?
Yeah, Judy eats it as well.
You know,
Yeah, iodine is a trace mineral, and that's another thing when we're talking about salt is doctors when they say don't do salt so that they blanketly say avoid salt because you have high blood pressure. Salt causes high blood pressure. That is not true. The problem is table salt, which removes those trace minerals like iodine and other things like
magnesium
yeah,
that calm the heart, right?
yeah. So other important smaller amounts of minerals that are in the sea salt or earth salts that our body needs for that balance, the metabolic balance, the balance of water at the cellular level, the water inside your cells and outside your cells. Very, very important for us to have salt in our life, in our diet, to make sure that we have that good water balance. And the issue is essentially you often hear the phrase electrolytes or the word electrolytes. That's really what it comes down to is you want to make sure that you get adequate electrolytes and you're going to get that from sea salt or earth salt.
I'm
So
glad you brought up that term. So
yeah,
electrolytes create a charge within your cells, and that charges energy. That's why my friend and I had so much energy in the latter half of our day. And we had already done a workout in the morning. We did a leg workout, we did an upper body workout, we did a whole stretch routine because I was kind of bringing him up to speed on some of the
yeah,
stuff that you've taught
mm-hmm,
me, and
yeah,
he was really encouraged, especially the mobility moves that I showed him that you had shared with me.
yeah,
And so physically, we just put ourselves to the ringer yesterday with that heat, and yet I feel just refreshed today because I got
great,
my night's sleep and I got my electrolytes. And so think of the battery in your car when those electrolytes break down and the elements kind of fall off the plates that are in there that charge that battery. The battery loses its charge and then it can't start your car. You need a new battery. Well, we constantly can recharge our battery every day with salt. And I got to
yeah,
share one thing. I know this topic it gets me so excited. I had a gal come in the office and she was just sat down and
mm,
she was feeling really bad. So she had her head kind of holding
mm-hmm,
her hands and she's kind of moaning, I go, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "I just feel so weak." And of course, we bring them in fasting for a few hours and
mm-hmm,
just missing that little bit of food, she was depleted. But I hadn't looked at her blood yet, so I wanted to try some. I said, "Let's get some water in you, but I'm going to put some salt in that water." So I
mm-hmm,
put a teaspoon of salt, stirred it. I go, "This is going to be real salty, but go ahead, just chug it down." So she takes the cup and chugs it down, sits there for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe, and she goes, kind of lifts her head up and she goes, "Wow,
mm-hmm,
that's amazing."
mm-hmm,
I mean, how fast
mm,
electrolytes can just get into the bloodstream and into circulation, and just she felt it in her head. She said she was overwhelmed with the effect of those electrolytes charging up her blood
yeah,
with that water. It's remarkable the life-saving effect it'll give you. And we saw it yesterday
yeah,
in our athletic performance. So however you want to use it, it's for your benefit. Enjoy salt. There's so much we can say on this topic.
yeah,
There's
very important.
good books out there about salt, but use
Yes,
it, enjoy it, and watch and see. You folks with high blood pressure, if your sodium is not high on your blood reports, and our reference range is really optimal, is 140, 142, somewhere in there. If you're above that, well, maybe you don't want a whole lot more salt, but you're probably not drinking enough water, which dilutes that electrolyte balance. As if you had a a stove full of a pot and you were making a soup and it tasted too salty, what would you probably do to help make it not so salty? Well, you'd add
water
water,
it down.
right? So if you got too much salt in your bloodstream, chances are you're dehydrated.
Mm,
And we can rehydrate with just more salt and more water. It's real simple.
right.
But God sends the simple things to confound the wise.
Yeah, and the last simple thing, just as a reminder, we talked a little bit about it, but we encourage people to avoid the salt that doctors are really speaking to, which is table salt. All it is sodium chloride that causes an imbalance. As we mentioned, we want to get things like Celtic sea salt, Celtic or
Yeah,
Celtic,
yeah.
however you pronounce it.
Or the real salt.
Redmond real salt.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The story behind that
Mm-hmm.
is that they harvest this salt out of a volcanic covered dome that is basically prehistoric, if you will. Back in the time of Noah, when the flood happened, there was a lot of volcanoes, and as the floods dried up, these beds of salt showed up in different parts of the world, and that's where they mine it in Redmond, Utah. So it's kind of like
Mm,
buried in this volcanic layer, and it's really pure and
mm,
full of minerals. And I
yeah.
feel the effect when I use that
Yeah.
stuff.
It's good. That's what we use. So get rid of your table salt, your sodium chloride, and start using one of these types of salts, and you'll feel the difference. And if you have any questions on this topic or have some health concerns that you want some more personalized plans for. We do that for you here at the Nutrition and Health Center. Contact us. Our number is 281-440-0024. We will be able to help you get a personalized nutrition and lifestyle plan to help you overcome disease and build abundant health. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
God bless.